Cool. So this is going to be a case study on how my client Mike Redden got his six pack as a top performer, and he's a top performing realtor up in northern New Jersey. Tons of volume. It's an area where you're working all the time. It's not like he only does one house a month. He does like 12 to 15, and he did it while he was gaining weight. And a lot of guys look at that and they see that and they're like, how the heck does somebody even think about getting a six pack while gaining weight? I mean, he wasn't actually a skinny guy. I'll point you like this is what he looked like right here on the left. This was 8 weeks ago, and then this was just last week, and he's got that nice V taper that every guy looks for. Traps got bigger, shoulders got bigger, biceps got bigger. He's more veiny in the forearms, obliques are showing, and he did that all in 8 weeks. And this is really how you can have a six pack, become disciplined, have your dream body, all while growing in your career and having a body that your wife can't wait to get her hands on. And gentlemen, isn't that what we all want? We all want our wives to be all over us, right? And so if we're feeling sloppy, if we're feeling unconfident, if we're feeling like maybe we got bigger tits than she does, it's going to be hard for us to put out the energy that our wives get super excited about and want to bet us with. So let's dive in. So here's some before and after, guys. This was just 8 weeks. That's all he needed, interestingly enough. And so if you kind of have this same body style, and move myself out of the way, if you're kind of looking over here and you're like, wait, I kind of look like that. Like nobody would say that Mike was fat. He's kind of more like just he had some extra stuff that he wanted to get rid of. This definitely does not work if you're like 330 pounds. Okay, I think we can all just be logical about that. If you actually do have bigger tits than your wife, we're not going to be gaining weight to then look leaner. But for my skinny fat guys, for my dads out there that just kind of have that extra layer, that they can actually gain weight and look even better. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how we did it. This is a step-by-step case study. No fluff, no bullshit, no nothing. Let's just dive right in. So, basics of body recomposition. So I'm gonna educate you a little bit here. First and foremost, calorie intake. What we're looking for here is an ever so slight deficit. We are not looking for dramatic 800 to 1,000 calorie deficits. If you're a grown fucking man and you're eating less than 1,500 calories a day, thinking that that's a sustainable diet, you have something else coming for you, and that's called failure and falling off. And this is probably why you've yo-yoed for so long. Stop eating like a goddamn bird and start eating like a fucking man, and you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish. You need enough energy to work out. You need enough energy to succeed at working in your relationships, and you need enough energy, calories, to fuel muscle growth, or else nothing else works. And all these guys are like, oh, I was eating 1,300 calories and I wasn't losing weight. It's like, yeah, because you're eating like an 80-pound chick. Like, you're a dude. You got a set of balls, don't you? Like, eat like you do. Let's talk about nutrition, okay? Look, it mainly needs to be protein and carbohydrates. You will get a faster and better deficit and better results from cutting fat than you will carbs. And for all my little keto crybabies who are like, no, 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 I gotta be keto, go take your issues somewhere else because I don't need to hear about it. Okay. I look better than you. I feel better than you. And I eat carbohydrates. I eat sugar. I eat fruit. I have cake. I have ice cream. I eat pizza. And guess what? I look better than you. So don't at me over here and be like, oh, no, you just carbs are the enemy. Take your Paul Saladino shit, get the fuck off my page. Okay. Protein and carbohydrates, that's going to fuel your workout sessions. That's going to allow you to maintain your energy levels during your workouts so you can actually perform. Well, you keto guys are sitting there yawning in the middle of your sets. Plus, by keeping fat low, it's 9 calories per gram. For every 1 gram of fat I cut out, I can keep 2 grams of carbs. Rest and recovery. Man, I cannot specify this enough. You do not change your body in the gym. You sleep. If you are not recovering, like, man, you're crazy. So if you're going to the gym 7 days a week and you're hitting full body workouts 5 days a week, it's like, dude, this is how you burn the fuck out. Stop that shit. Okay. I'd rather you hit 3 full body sessions a week and take 4 days off than do 5 full body sessions a week and take 1 or 2 days off. Okay. Now, the idea here is like he gained weight because he actually put on muscle. He did it in 8 weeks. Okay. Not all weight gain is created equal. Muscle weighs more than fat. Now, when I say that, obviously 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat both weigh a pound. Okay. What I'm talking about here is that 1 pound of fat is a lot larger. It takes up more space, where 1 pound of muscle is like very small. Okay. So let's keep going. That's the basics of body recomposition. So this is what Mike's training looked like. And just so you guys know that I'm not just talking out of my ass, this for me was 16 weeks. This is my transformation. This is January, right towards the middle of May. So here's what we focused on. All right. And this is what I focused on where I did this transformation. Okay. It's compound exercises, multi-joint exercises. We're not sitting there only doing bicep curls and tricep extensions. This is base level shit. But y'all motherfuckers need to be reminded more than you need to be taught. So deadlifts, squat, bench, shoulder press, leg press, things that use 2 joint protocols or joint systems, excuse me, is what we included in our protocol to make sure that we were building as much muscle as possible. We also did progressive overload. So I gradually increased reps. I gradually increased volume and very, very gradually increased weight. Okay, we weren't jumping up 5 pounds every single week. That's literally how you get injured. That is a recipe for injury. Okay. Now you should be pushing the weight a little bit, and sometimes you'll experience those jumps, but every week, no, no, no. That's not how this works. I'd rather see you stay at the same weight and do an extra set, or stay at the same weight and do 5 more reps per set. That's how you can progress safely. Listen, you're a dad, man. You're probably in your late 30s, early 40s, or 50s. Dude, your joints can't handle increasing the weight every 5 pounds. Just because you're floating around on Instagram and YouTube, you see these 18 to 21-year-olds just walk in the gym, cold as ice, put 225 on the bar and bench it. We have to remember how indestructible boys are at 19 years old. Like literally indestructible. Okay? You are not indestructible anymore. You are very destructible. So you got to be smart here. And you got to have a little bit of variety and consistency. So I believe in 4 to 6 week blocks. If you are changing your workouts every single week, just go dump cold water on your head so you can come back to reality and realize how dumb that is. You cannot progressively overload if you're changing up your workouts every single week. So stop doing that shit. Same workout, like discipline, consistency, 4 to 5 strength sessions per week. Absolutely. Let's talk about calorie intake. Okay. What we did with Mike was before we decreased his calorie intake, we just increased his output. This is a very novel idea, apparently, to some people, is they're like, well, if I want to get into a calorie deficit, I have to cut food. No, most of you guys aren't moving. So, like, don't cut food right away. Just increase your output. If you're not getting 7,500 to 12,000 steps per day, ideally 10 to 12,000 steps per day, start there. Right? If you're not exercising regularly, start there. Eat the same amount. Just do those 2 things every single day. It might take you 90 minutes, but it's like, oh man, like not 90 minutes, 45 minutes for a walk and 45 minutes for a workout. It's like, oh my God. It's like, dude, if you're caught up on movies, if you're caught up on Netflix shows, if you've been to the movies in the last week or some shit like that, like if you're caught up on sports, ESPN, your latest creator's YouTube video, then I promise you, homeboy, you have 90 minutes a day. You're just wasting it. Okay? Stop wasting it. Use that time to invest back into you and stop spending all his money and all his time on social media and YouTube and all that nonsense. Okay? But finish this video though. Finish this video. But then go for a walk. All right? So rather than cutting food, just increase your output. Move more. Okay, cutting food without changing your movement patterns is dumb as fuck. And also, the deficit here that we want to create, pardon me, is really no more than 300 calories a day. I want Mike to feel full. I want you to feel full. I want you to not be like, I'm so hungry that I need cake and I'm craving cookies and like all I can think about is ice cream. It's like, look, man, like I need you full, man. I need you feeling like, all right, I got enough. Like a little bit of hunger is good. That's how we know that we're making progress, but nothing too crazy, man. Some of you guys are slashing out like 800 calories a day. You know, you're working out for like an hour and then you're eating like fucking lettuce, being like, why can I lose weight? It's like, because your body's like, what the fuck? Like, we are not eating at all. Like, we got to hold on as much as possible. The beautiful thing about the body is that whatever you fuel it with, it will release. Okay. And what I mean by that is if you're eating enough food, your body goes, oh, cool, we're getting enough food every day. I don't have to store it. Stored food is just that. All right. So let's talk about cardiovascular exercise because we integrated cardio 3 sessions per week to get this done. So we had 4 to 5 sessions of working out and 3 physical cardio sessions where like the intention of the movement was strictly cardio. We did 1 Stairmaster session, sometimes 2, mainly walking. And then for my guys, I do have some older clients in their 50s and 60s who have some like hip injuries and knee injuries. And I just love to put them on the elliptical because there's no impact. Right? Like you can get your heart rate up and like your joints are like, woo, like easy peasy. It's almost as good as swimming. I just don't really like swimming because who really has access to a pool? It's tough to program. So the Stairmaster is great, helps with the VO2 max. You'll sweat your nards off. It's a great thing to go spend 20 to 30 minutes on. It's an excellent workout right then and there. Walking, just get 10 to 12,000 steps per day. You don't have to always intentionally go out for a walk. What I tell my super like dumb busy guys is like go get a 10-minute walk 3 times a day. After breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. You want to reconnect with your kids? Tell them to leave their phones at home. We're going on a family walk, 10 minutes. You'd be shocked. You guys will probably end up walking for 20 or 30. It won't even feel like a workout, but that movement is going to go a long way. The cool part is, let's say you walk for 20 minutes, it's 100 calories, right? That's also going to help with digestion. It's going to level out your blood sugar and it'll decrease your cravings. So if you find yourself eating dinner and then going sitting on the couch and then an hour later being like, why am I hungry? You're not actually hungry. Your blood sugar went up and then down. So your body's like, oh shit, because it was all filled with simple sugars probably. And your body was like, oh man, like our blood sugar is really low. Like let's send a craving because we want to get our blood sugar back up. Go walk. I promise you. Okay. So just focus on like 2 to 3 sessions per week of like intentional cardio. 30 minutes. You're rocking and rolling right there. Now, this is the piece that nobody ever talks about because everyone's like, well, how many calories? And what's my workout? And how many reps? And how many sets? It's like, okay, that's all great. But just like an airplane flying from LA to New York, if it's not constantly tracking its progress to see like where on the straight line am I, it doesn't actually know if it's going to land in New York. And well, being 1 degree off might land them in Washington, D.C. or South Carolina, right? If they, like if a pilot took off from LA and was like, I'm going to fly to New York, go, and then just sat there and just never looked at the map, never looked at the GPS, like how accurate they're being, they probably would miss New York by thousands of miles. And this is what happens. Guys start workout programs, weightlifting programs, all this shit, and then they don't track anything. And then they're like, well, why am I not seeing any progress? It's like, no, because you got to track. So take your body measurements, weigh yourself at minimum 2 times a week. Okay, that's the bare bones minimum in my program, 2 times a week. You don't want to go 7 days. You sure shit don't want to go 30 days. Okay, because you could be messing up for 2 weeks and not even realize. I really don't want my clients messing up for more than 2 or 3 days. My best clients, they weigh in 3 to 5 times a week. Keeping strength training logs. Okay, we recorded every single rep, every single weight, every single workout. This way I can make adjustments in real time. And I could tell them, go up in weight. I could tell them, take shorter rest breaks, things like that. We also kept a diet journal and we used MyFitnessPal, right? This isn't complicated shit, dude. This is like first grader type stuff here, okay? But we relied heavily on meal prep services because he just does not have time to cook. But there's all these amazing companies where you can get meals sent to you for less than $10 a meal, which is cheaper than Chipotle, and you could get 2, 3 meals sent to you per day, so 21 meals or something like that a week, and it's like a little bit more than a grocery bill. So if you're like, oh man, I just don't have all the time in the world to cook, it's like, okay, well then don't. Just outsource it. There you go. Like he didn't have time. He's a real. If you've ever been around a realtor, you know their phones are constantly ringing. They're constantly running out to appointments. This dude's a stud. He doesn't have time to sit home for 2 hours a day and cook, or an hour. No, not even a little bit. So we relied on meal prep services. Now I do have a lot of dads who like have off on the weekends and things like that, and they'll meal prep themselves, and that's great. See, preparation is important. If you're like, well, I hate meal prepping, it's like, okay, well then be fat. Like, what do you hate more, your tits or meal prepping? Because if you're like, think about the meal prepping. Okay, I'm preparing my meals in advance, and if I'm preparing in advance, anytime you've ever been prepared in advance, you've probably achieved the outcome, or pretty much just as good as the outcome that you were desiring, right? Whatever that is. If you were playing soccer in high school, you prepared in practice. When you had tests in college, you prepared through studying. Yet you look at health and fitness and you're like, well, why would I need to prepare? Why would I need to do that? Like you're just not connecting the dots. Okay. The better you prepare, the better results you're going to have. And then, of course, frequent check ins. Okay. I have 3 pillars: customized programming, mindset, and identity shift. And then, of course, extreme accountability. And if you don't have someone who's holding you accountable, look, you will do more to not let somebody else down than you will to not let yourself down. You've let yourself down so many times in your life, you don't even believe that you could follow through on that. That's fine, but I'm sure you're there for other people. I'm sure you're accountable to other people. I'm sure you're responsible for your other people. You tell your son you're going to do something, chances are you're going to do it. You tell your wife you're going to do something, chances are you're going to do it because you don't want to let somebody else down. Well, start to use that mental leverage on yourself through a program. That's what Mike did. Look, Mike's a disciplined guy when it comes to his career. He's a loving husband. He's a great friend. He does a lot of things really, really well. But when it came to health and fitness, he needed to have that external accountability to create some internal habits. And I pay very close attention to my clients. Last but not least, if you guys love my arbitrary photo here of this really fit woman, gaining weight doesn't necessarily have to mean sacrificing your fitness goals, right? By balancing strength training, cardio, and a healthy diet, you can look and feel your best while achieving weight gain goals, weight loss goals, body image goals. Look, you just need to focus on nutrient dense whole foods. One thing that Mike did really well was he stopped eating anything, for the most part, that was processed. He really cut that down. Okay, if it had a nutrition label, it's like, why even eat it? Okay, single ingredient foods. Obviously, we incorporated both strength training and cardio into his routine. 5 strength training sessions, 3 sessions of cardio. We kept track. We tracked literally every little thing. That way, if we were 1% off, we only had to correct by 1%. If you're tracking once a month, you could be off by 25%. Then it feels like it's a big gap to close. And we stopped guessing. Okay, by joining Unbreakable Dads, he stopped guessing on how to make it work. He yo-yoed for years. He'd get in good shape and then he'd lose. Get in good shape and he'd lose it. Get in good shape and he'd lose it. And he'd be like, oh, well, I was really good for 3 weeks and then he'd take 3 weeks off. I'm really good for 2 weeks and then he'd take 2 weeks off. And it's like, look, if you have a proper plan and you take the guesswork out, it's a lot easier to stick to it for a long enough period of time. So, summary. Look, you could try to lose body fat and you could try to get in great shape all by yourself. Or you can work with our team here at Unbreakable Dads. You can get there in literally half the time with little to no mistakes and not having to pay a personal trainer $125 a session, minimum 4 times a week, because you're not going to get results with 2 or 3 sessions a week. By the way, that's like $2,000 a month. It's a lot. That's a mortgage. Okay. Just for them to literally sit there, count reps, count your rest time, and probably chew your ear off. And you most likely won't even get results because you're just talking the entire time. With Unbreakable Dads, you completely be able to reverse any gains, fat gains that you've ever experienced, jumpstart muscle growth while experiencing the fastest results you've ever gotten in a fitness program. We move quick here. Okay. Just a friendly reminder, this was 8 weeks. This was 16 weeks. Okay, I'll move my face. This was 16 weeks. Okay, your workouts will be enjoyable because there's no unnecessary jumping up and down. Okay, fucking these CrossFit guys. I did CrossFit for like 3 weeks, man. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but man, my joints were aching, and I was in my 20s. If you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you're going to a CrossFit class, and they're like, do some muscle ups. but you haven't worked out in 10 years. Like, are you kidding? So no jumping up and down. Doing burpees in between sets are extremely dangerous movements like CrossFit, and have a flexible diet that allows you to date your wife and treat your kids without guilting yourself because of the ice cream cone on a Friday night after soccer. That's what this is about. Okay. If you've taken nothing away from this video, take this away. 99.9% of the guys that try to get into shape will take their life and try to fit it into a program. What we do at Unbreakable Dads is we take our program and we fit it into the life. So if that sounds like something you're excited about, click the link in the description on this video. I'd be excited about meeting you. I'd be excited about having a conversation with you. And we could dive deep on your goals, where you've been, where you want to go, what you've been struggling with. And if for any reason I'm not the guy for you, I'll point you in the right direction. I have a whole circle of people that I would refer you to that I would spend money on. But chances are you've just never met a trainer, you've never met a coach, and you've never been a part of a program that's fully customized into your life. And that's why you just haven't gotten the results that you've always wanted to get. So if you want to explore more about that, you're serious about your weight loss goals, you're serious about your body transformation, click the link in the description below, www.unbreakabledads.com. In fact, I have it right here. You can come take a look at some of the other body transformations. There's Mike again, Anthony Corvisiero, Nick Martucci, Heath Feynman. You can even hear firsthand from Heath exactly what we did. We worked together for like 18 months, man. Completely changed his life. And then if you're serious, go ahead and fill out this link, click submit, and you'll be able to schedule a call with me. All right. Great hanging out. Hope you got some value out of this, and I'll be talking to you soon. Oh, you can also check out my content at Unbreakable Dads on TikTok, at Unbreakable Dads on, look at that, Mike Redden. Told you he was a realtor. At Unbreakable Dads right here. All right, guys. Fun hanging out. Smell you later.